The crunch is on, as usual, in education. And no matter where you fall on the solution, the problem is pretty much agreed by all that we are having to seriously look how we educate in the United States. Last night on CNN there was a 2-hour special in which the Secretary of Education was interviewed in a town meeting, sort of, in Virginia. And one of the things that he said was that we need to be doing a better job. And talked about a lot of the things that he thought was necessary. But there was a question that was posed to the Secretary about what is your position on preserving the arts, or the necessity of the arts and drama and poetry, etc. Because we know that when the scalpel comes out, it is often those things that go first. And he said, we need them. Indeed, that a child can learn math better if they are exposed to good music. I taught a class on teaching students with autism this weekend, and music therapy is a very important part in working with students who have autism. And so, I'm not here to preach on education this morning. I'm here to just talk about poetry and the importance of poetry. Now, of all of the forms of genre of literature, I personally found poetry to be the most difficult to decipher. You know, it's easy to read, for me, to read a story or to read something nonfiction, but to sit in front of a poem requires more of me. I've been reading Daniel Pink's book. I don't know if you've read it, but it is well worth your reading. You can pick it up in paperback at a bookstore, called The Whole New Mind. Am I right?
A Whole New Mind.
A Whole New Mind. And talks about right and left brain directed thinking. And that which is linear, logical, sequential is the work that is left directed. And then on the right is the arts and expressions and creativity and intuition. The left is interested in the text. The right brain is interested in the context. And so it's very interesting. And the point of his book is that we need the whole brain to be functioning in our lives. And so I come with poetry this morning. I can't say I thoroughly understand Psalm 46. Those majestic words that Terry led us through this morning, which begin with, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in the time of trouble. Listen to the cadence of that. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth be removed, though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea. But there's something about that language that captivates the imagination. You know, it was not until Gutenberg's press that people began to have access to printed copies of the Bible. The experience of God came in different ways, particularly within hearing and going to a worship service. But there are people that you and I know, and maybe even among us this morning, who often feel something majestic, almost word-defying, almost beyond words, when in nature we stand and we look on the top of Cadillac Mountain and look around, or go out on a trail, or get out on the ocean and enjoy the beauty of the earth. Sometimes it is in the tending of a garden and the beauty of flowers that we sense something that we are connected to on a very deep level. The Bible teaches that St. Paul wrote in the book of Romans that those who do not even have access to a text can experience God through nature. Did you know that? Yes, we know it intuitively, but you won't hear it preached very much. Many people experience a sense of something spectacular in moments of love when we listen to the Song of Solomon, which, by the way, under the Hebrew law or tradition, no male under the age of 30 could hear the book of the Song of Solomon read until they had gone past their 30th birthday. That book is one of over 1,000 songs that Solomon wrote, David's son, Solomon. It's beautiful. Now, if I read it in the King James, I get lost with who's speaking because it's not clear, and that's why I like the Message Bible for that particular passage, because someone's figured out when is the man speaking and when is the woman speaking, and when are the daughters, who is the sort of Greek chorus in the background, when are they speaking? It is possible that when we do not come to grips with the deeper truths of life through the left side of our brain, through rationality, we need to engage the whole brain with beauty, with art, with truth. From our history in America, it was the Puritans who became and led us down a path of austerity, that there should be no joy or fun in faith. Looking just from a peripheral sense of the Bible, one could not support the Puritans' theology. Why, for goodness sake, the whole book of Job is an epic poem. Literally, the genre is an epic poem. The whole book of the Song of Solomon is this glory of human relationships and sexuality and love and intimacy. The problem for people today is that they've had things projected upon the Bible that has destroyed the beauty of it. Oh, the beauty of the Proverbs. I love those aphorisms, like the one that says, a word fitly spoken is like pitchers, apples of gold in pitchers like you pour water with, and pitchers of silver. There's something that grabs me when I hear that proverb, that a whole book of the Bible on treating each other right doesn't do for me. A word fitly spoken, like a craftsperson trying to do something well, finding the appropriate word. That aphorism grabs me. It engages another part of my brain. And we need this in our own lives. One of the things that I'm impressed about Abraham Lincoln, in spite of the poor economic circumstances of his life, he would walk for miles and miles and miles to get a book and read it. He would spend hours over the King James Version of the Bible and committed much of it to memory. He was familiar with literature.